Hey YouTube, this will be week 39 for the YouTube Pagan Challenge, and this week's topic is what does shadow mean to you? The first thing that came to mind when I really started thinking about what shadow would mean is the not the absence of light, but something that has been blocked by the light. So what I thought of with that is all of those things that we try and hide from other people, including ourselves, although those things that you suppress because you don't like them. Sometimes, though, when it is a shadow, I think it can be something that you can't really ignore, although the human brain is a really good way, has a really good way of ignoring things. One thing that comes to mind is there was a Grey's Anatomy episode where it's a little girl dumped at the ER, and everyone assumes that she's pregnant first off because she's just got this big belly in front of her. And then they run whatever test that they run. This was an episode a couple seasons back, so I don't remember it all fully, but they find out it was a tumor. And over time, the mom had dropped her off there, but she was kind of checking in on her daughter. They didn't have insurance, so at the time the mom like freaked out, and then she just tried to ignore it, and she's like, over time I just didn't see this and I just saw my daughter. That's an extreme case, but I think that the shadows that we hide from ourselves, it could be sometimes even the shadows, if you can blind yourself to it, it can be a good thing, especially if it is a physical issue, a body issue, but it can also be a bad thing. And it's just a matter of which side of the coping mechanism it falls on. There's a fly. It's got in front of the camera like 3 times. But if you have a condition that would benefit from some sort of medical treatment and you're ignoring that, then it's a problem. But if it's something that you've gone to a doctor and they're like, well, you have to deal with this, and you learn how to cope and how to deal with it, then it's a good thing. Like, I'm not coming up with very many good examples, but let's say scars, like I have an open heart surgery scar from when I was 2.5. There's not much I can do to fade it. Jokingly, I want to get corset lacing over it because I think it would be a little bit funny. But I don't hate this scar. I don't mind it at all. I've grown up with it. Other people can feel differently about it. It's a different thing. Like, I have a tattoo on my stomach. I have 5 kids, including twins, and that was a little bit of a reclaiming thing for myself. So, and these are definite physical issues versus the mental issues if you have self-judgment or self-doubts and all of those other things you have to learn how to deal with, and that's all the shadow work side, in my opinion. I don't know. Other people have different opinions. It's not the entire genre, so to speak, of the shadow work that happens a whole bunch on YouTube. I've seen it a lot on YouTube. I'm doing shadow work, which ironically, I feel like a lot of the people, not all of them, but a lot of the people who are supposedly doing all of this shadow work aren't really dealing with their shadows. They just think they are. And I don't have any names to come up with. I've just seen a few people who just have these repeats of the patterns over and over and over again, and that is a sign that you're not really dealing with that issue that you had in the first place. Does that make sense? So I think that shadow is all of the things that you try to hide. You try and cloak them. You try and mask them. And the way to deal with them is to bring them out into the light, because when you shine a light on a shadow, it disappears. On the other hand, without light, we have no shadow. without shadow. Light really has no meaning. So balance is a good thing.